So why we are discussing that we are going to build one small application. So we are going to build a end-to-end MERN stack application. In that MERN stack application, yesterday we started discussing about MongoDB. So MongoDB for managing the database. You can use any database, but all other databases like MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, they need a language like SQL, right? Now we discussed about the basic features yesterday. So we learned about the features and we discussed about how to set up server and client. So the client tool is MongoDB Compass. So you need to set up the server and client too. You done? Have you installed it? You got that Compass? And important, you have to test the connection also. Connection, its address is MongoDB 127.0.0.1.2.7.0.1.7, or you can also use MongoDB localhost 270.1.7. You can use any of them. So this is the Mongo server and the connection with the Mongo server we learned. Now what we need to do is we will learn how to create database and how do we work with the database. So first you need to know about few terms. So MongoDB terminology. So you need to understand the basic terms of MongoDB. So MongoDB terminology is actually in MongoDB you have database. So database is the store actually. Database is the store. That is the location where we keep the data. And usually other technologies also call it as database only. In a database, data is stored in collection. So collection is used for storing the data. In a database, data is stored in collection. Other technologies call this as a table. So in other technologies like Oracle, MySQL, they call it as a table. So table is in MongoDB called as a collection. And it have document. Generally in other technologies they call it as a record. That means table have a row. Every row is considered as a record that keeps information about any particular details. Here in MongoDB we call it as a document. So that means generally in other technologies also, I will just give here. this is in MongoDB description, and this is in other databases. In other databases, it is called database only, and collection is called as a table. Document is called as a record. Actually, here you can call it as a document as a row. It is a row. That means in a table, we have rows. So, in every document, it contains field. So, field is nothing but it is a column header. So, we call it as a field only here. We have a field. So, we have a database. In the database, we have collections, and we have documents and fields. Actually, you also have embedded documents. So usually people call them as joins. So in other technologies, they call join. So the major part of managing your database, so database, collection, document, and fields, these are important. So that means in other technologies, generally database contains tables. In tables, they have records. So that means, for example, just I give here, suppose you have like Oracle or MySQL or somebody. Here they have a database. In database, usually they have a table. In the table, they have records. So in MongoDB, you have a database, and in this we have a collection. So in this collection, you have a document. So collection, you have documents. Collection contains documents. So these documents are actually considered as BSON type documents. So this is a business object, as I told you, ORM. That means in ORM they are BSON type. That means actually generally people use JSON, JavaScript object notation. So this is business object notation. This is ORM related. That means I told you here we don't, means it looks like a object only, JSON, but it is not mapping to the data. It is mapping to the business. We discussed ORM means it will map to the business requirement, not to the data requirements. So developers will design according to the business. What is specialty is you design according to business. If database is ready, already present, then it will communicate. If not present, it can even create. It will create according to your specifications. You will see that. So when we use it. So this is the basic terminology. So in MongoDB, where we keep the data in a database. In database, how we keep the data in collection. In collection, how data is arranged in documents. In documents, that is the basic. Now, for our project, we will create a database for a simple application. So, actually, we have database for to-do application. We will design that here. Actually, uh, to design any database for any project, to design any database, what is the reference? What is the reference given to a developer? A developer have to design database for a application. What is the reference given to developer so that he will see that and design database accordingly? So to design any database, so for any application, we need first point is to design database for application. Developer have to create various database models. Actually, database models. So developer have to create various database models first. We need to create the database models. Generally, we don't create. Some expert team will design everything and just give it to you. You have to use it. Database, to create database for any project, we have to use various database models. Actually, database models are classified into four types. Actually, four types. We have four types of database models. We have conceptual model, we have physical model, we have logical model, and we have entity model. So a conceptual model, physical model, logical model, and entity model. So to design database for any application, these four models are important. So what are these models? So what is conceptual, what is physical, logical, entity, we need to know. Generally, database models means, for example, now, what is our application? Actually, we are trying to build an application called some to-do application. We are trying to build an to-do application. So you have to know that every application comprises of modules. Every application is built by using modules. Now, in this application, we have modules, and we have two modules. One is a user module, another one is a appointments module. So, user and appointments module. Every application will have several modules. We have a user module and a appointments module. Now, what we have to do is, as a developer, first we need to identify out of these two modules which module needs data. That means every module in a project doesn't require data. Every module doesn't require data. It doesn't require data means it doesn't require data from a store. it may use some static data. Every module in a project doesn't need data from store. Developers have to first identify what are the modules that need data. That means our first responsibility is to identify which module needs data, and we prepare a list of modules that need data, and that list, we prepare a model for that is called conceptual. That is called conceptual model. So what is a conceptual model? Conceptual model contains information about the modules that need data. That means in a project there will be several modules, but every module doesn't require data. For example, means doesn't require data for you to store. For example, you are using some shopping, online shopping. In that online shopping, so users will log in. That means you need data for users. Users will watch the products. That means you need data for products. You have to keep products related data. User will make payment. User will make payment. So payment module is present. Do you need data for this? You don't maintain any payment module data. It is coming from a payment gateways. That means usually it will come from some bank data store. That means payment gateways we use. Those payment gateways are connected to bank servers. That means Amazon is not verifying your credit card or debit card. In Amazon, there is a gateway for payment where you enter your credit card, debit card. It is verified by bank servers only. That means bank people will not give their data to Amazon. Amazon is just a gateway, using a gateway to communicate with them. So your bank account details, that all data is not responsibility of Amazon. That means it doesn't need data for that. It just need a module where they put a integration of a gateway, through that they can communicate. That means a developer first identifies the list of all modules that need data. That is called as what? Conceptual model. Conceptual model contains all that. I will show one example here. I am showing some example document of some project. So this is one of some projects, and in that project, this is how a conceptual model usually looks like. This is a conceptual model. Generally, in this conceptual model, we will first prepare the information about the modules that need data. Now, what happens is a review team will review this. A review team will review, and they will verify that the conceptual model is perfect. Means you are not missing any module. You are not adding any module which is not necessary. All this review happens. Once the review team says that, okay, this is good for that business, you can go with this model. Then what happens is, once the conceptual model is ready, that means once my review team says that conceptual model is ready, means this is final. Now our team will prepare a physical model. So in conceptual model, what we have in conceptual model, we have information about the modules which need data. So user module needs data. Appointment module needs data. Appointments module needs data. This we decided in conceptual model. That is finalized. And we go to physical model. In physical model, what happens is our team have to identify what is the data to be stored for user module. For user module, what data to store? You mentioned that user module. Okay, according to business requirement, what data need to be stored for user? That means here in physical model, what we do is, in physical model, we will decide the table name. Here we will decide the field name. Here we will decide the data type. These three are decided in physical model. That means physical model contains information about the data to be stored for every module. You said user module. Okay, good. For user module, what is the data? That means user needs user ID, password, mobile, email, age, something. These all information. What is user ID type? It is a string. What is username type? String. What is age type? Number. That means what is the data to be stored for every module? That is decided in physical model. So after the conceptual model is verified and reviewed, now we will prepare the physical model. See, the physical model looks like this. This is conceptual model. And after the conceptual model, we will prepare the physical model. It will be in this way. Physical model contains table name, field name, data type. That means what should be the table name? What should be the fields? What should be the data type of that field? This all we decide in a physical model. Again, review happens on this physical model. That means our review team will verify that everything is according to the business requirement. You are not missing a field. You are not adding some extra fields which are not necessary. Once our review team finalizes this, right, it says that, okay, you can go with this. Then once the physical model is ready, then our team will design a logical model. Our team will design a logical model. After the physical model is ready, the logical model. In logical model, what our team will do is, they will identify the relationship between different modules. They will identify the relationship between modules. So you have modules ready. Now, are they having any relationship? Is any module linked to any another module? That means we have to identify the relationship between the modules. Some modules may not have any relation, but some modules are related to others. For example, suppose you say in a shopping, we have products and we have vendors. Vendors are the people who supply products. And suppose brands. We have vendors, we have products, and we have brands. That means, for example, product is like TV, or product is like a shoe. So vendor is like Reliance Digital. or vendor is like a big C, like that. These are the vendors. Or you say Bajaj Electronics, somebody. So shoe, that means some vendor like some Bata, that is a vendor, right? So means Bata have their own stores. Suppose universal vendor like Metro something. So that means usually what happens is brands, you know the brands. That means you have the brands like LG. So we have the brand like Sony, right? That means now we have the brands like Nike, like this. Now the point here is there any relation between them? Of course, that means not only that, you also have, suppose cities is a module. Now, in which city, which vendor can supply which product to that particular user? It's a very big business. That means, for example, you ordered any product, then that product is delivered to you. You ordered an Samsung phone. Will Samsung deliver it to you? No. That means a vendor of Samsung in your city, who is the nearest vendor, he will deliver. He will deliver to you. That means it's a big business. Means actually business is background. It's very complex. Generally, many times people ask like, for example, I said Amazon is built with React. So Amazon is built with React. Facebook is built with React. Instagram is built with React. Netflix is built with React. These are all React. If I say Amazon is built with React, that means is Amazon business running with React? No. Amazon business is not running with React. You just created a website for them. React is just providing a interface. React is not maintaining the business. Even Java, .NET, PHP, Python, they don't maintain business. You know, that means Java, .NET, PHP, Python, they don't maintain the business. They don't run business. They are just interface for the business. Then who maintains the business? Who maintain the business? Business is maintained by ERP applications like SAP, like Ariba, like even Oracle. Oracle is also an ERP. You know, Oracle have not just database, they have ERP. They have business intelligence, Oracle financials, Oracle admin modules, so many. Oracle is also a very big ERP actually. So generally, these are the people who manage business. These are the people who manage business. That means any project, .NET, Java, PHP, React, Angular, these are not maintaining business. These are responsible for only presenting business. Presenting business, not managing the business. The business is managed by these people. Managed by these people. We call them as functional consultants. SAP or Ariba or Oracle, these people are called functional consultants. In that they have technical consultants, functional consultants, like that. Functional consultant, because this is what business is. That is the reason, for example, if you want to, means the business is presented by using what technologies like .NET, so PHP or Java, or in the front end you use like React, Angular and all these things. Now the point is, do you know, to learn these technologies like Java, .NET, PHP and all, you can come from any background. You can come from any background, technical, non-technical, any background. But do you know, to learn these technologies, you need a domain experience. Compulsory. Otherwise, you are not suitable for jobs. They don't take. You need domain experience. Compulsory. That means in their resume, they have to mention the domain experience. And even your resume is not shortlist. They don't take your resume, or even when you try to join a course also, they will reject. They say that you are not suitable for this course. They don't take you. Why? Because, for example, we have SAP. Some SAP have a FICO. It is for finance management. And who can manage finance? The person who done his MBA finance only can do. If you go and say that I will learn finance management, you can learn, no problem. Anybody can learn that software, but you will not get a job, because nobody will be satisfied that without finance background, how you are finance. I need a technically finance background person to manage my finance, right? That's the reason they don't even consider you to take into that course, because they will clearly tell you you can learn but you will not get a job. It's waste of time. Why? Because in companies we see domain experience for this. For .NET Java we don't see any domain experience, not required. Domain experience means you are working for a finance software, you have to show experience in working in any finance area for 1 year. That means you have to show experience for working in any finance area for 1 year minimum. Then you can say that through that I learned this software with that background. And remember, usually, suppose a .NET PHP developer, after 4 or 5 years, how much package he gets? A fresher of this will get that. A fresher of these tools will get the same package of what .NET Java people get after 3 4 years, because these are the people main for business, not these .NET Java. These people manage business, these people maintain business. That means they have huge packages. That means averages, minimum starting package of a fresher in these tools will be 7 lakhs, 5 lakhs starting. Means fresher. Experience will go very high. So these are the people maintaining business. So React is built with Amazon is built with React JS. It doesn't mean that React is managing Amazon business. React is not managing Amazon business to manage the interface for that business. That means Amazon requires a screen for users. Amazon requires a screen for vendors. Amazon requires a screen for the brands that we are designing. The business is not done by us. That is all softwares. That is the reason here, whenever you are working for an application, there will be so many levels of design. You are not designing for business, actually. You are just designing, means here we are saying that you are not a functional consultant, you are a technical. In SAP also technical people will be there. So I will not go that much in depth about this point, but just I given an overview that you are not running Amazon business. You are just designing an interface for that business. That means many times people have a wrong idea. Like, can we build Amazon like? You can build Amazon like interface, not Amazon like business. Business is complete. Business model is different behind that. It needs lot of softwares. Lot of softwares. Basically, suppose, means just roughly I will give a business model, means just to make you understand. So that means suppose I will give here simple Amazon business model. How Amazon or Flipkart business model works. A simple approach point I will give you. Usually what happens is, so you are a client. Actually, you are the client. So client is the user. Now you have to order some product, right? Actually, in the business model, there will be some departments. Like in the business model, you have a admin, yeah, you have some departments here. Like in the business model, you have an admin department. You will have an admin department, and you have a purchasing department, purchasing department, and you have a finance department, finance department, and you have a vendor. So vendor is the person who supplies. Now what happens is, you as a client, you opened some www, some amazon.in, like this you opened. When you opened on that screen, so you ordered some mobile, so from some Hyderabad city, right? And some say Amirpet, so like this. Now what happens here is, when you ordered this, uh, for you, they have created a shopping cart for you. That means they given a complete interface. What happened is, you placed an order. That means you selected a product, you placed an order, you created a cart. That shopping cart will first go to admin department in the business. This admin department will verify your shopping cart. That means don't think that you just added products into cart and they will be delivered to you. No, no. For example, you ordered a product which is not from India, it will come from other countries. Then they have a lot of restrictions. They need to ask your Aadhaar card. So they need to ask your other credentials in order to deliver that product to you. Do you know? Have you ever done that? You try to order any product which doesn't comes from India, that comes from overseas other location, they need extra credentials. They need to ask you extra details. You need to confirm that extra details. The point here is, this admin department will first verify the cart. That means you ordered iPhone 10 quantity, they will reject. They will say that you can't order 10 quantity, only one per person. Another mobile you can order two, another mobile you can order four, but this is only one. A shoe you can order 10 in quantity, but particular shoe only one, because it is highly in demand stock. How they verify all that? That is all done by one department. That is what called admin. Admin department will verify the cart. It will verify the cart. After verifying the cart, they can reject your cart at any time. They can say that this product is not available, right? Now important, once they verified the cart and they said that okay, this is fine, they will send that information to purchasing department. This admin department will prepare a document called purchase requisition, PR. PR is called as purchase requisition. In purchase requisition, it contains information about what product they want, how many quantity they want, where they want to be delivered. Everything information is kept there. That is called requisition. This requisition is sent to purchasing department. Purchasing department will verify which product who can deliver. That means this product ordered from Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, who is the vendor who can deliver it? They have a contract with vendors. Then what they will do is this purchasing department will prepare a document called PO. PO means purchase order. They prepare a purchase order, purchase requisition to purchase order. In this purchase order, they will mention this product in this city should be delivered by this vendor. They will send a order to that vendor. Vendor means suppose you ordered a mobile. The vendor for that mobile is Bajaj Electronics or Reliance Digital or somebody. They will send a order to them saying that this product you need to deliver to this address. So this much quantity and all. They have a contract with those vendors. Now what vendor will do is vendor will take help of a delivery partner. Delivery partner. So they will take help of delivery partner. Delivery partner, like DTTC, am I right? So like what else? E-cart, E-cart. These are all the delivery partners. And you have like speed post, am I right? Speed post. Who are these? They are not vendors. They are the delivery partners. That means what vendor have to do is with the help of these delivery partners, these they deliver that product to this client. After delivering the product to the client, these vendor will send a confirmation to purchasing department. They saying that they send that, so we sent. That means we sent the product to the client. They will send a confirmation. And not only that, they will send an invoice to finance department. They will send an invoice to finance. That means pay now. That means even after the product is delivered, the payment is not received to that vendor. That means they will send an invoice saying that please pay us because we already delivered the product according to the contract. Then what finance department will do? They verify from purchasing, is it delivered or not? Now purchasing will verify from this admin, is it delivered or not? Admin gets a confirmation from him because after delivering, the delivery partner will sign. He will send a confirmation. And now the finance department PR says that, admin says that, okay, it is delivered. And purchasing says that, okay, it is delivered. Now finance will pay. What do you think? React will do all this. Java will do all this. .NET will do all this. Nothing. Nothing. They can't do any of this. This is the business model. Then what Java, .NET, React, Python, all these people? This is what actually the concept of SAP, or you could say better ERP. That means many people now, without all this knowledge, they come and ask, sir, in React, will you teach a ERP project also? What you are talking about? Do you know what is ERP first? ERP project means they think that you will design like an online shopping. You can just design that online shopping interface, not that business. That means you first don't know what is the word ERP means. You are asking, will you teach an ERP project? Are you serious? Do you know what is ERP is? What is the business model behind ERP? That means, do you know what happens? These finance people use some softwares for managing invoice. Those softwares are called Tally, like Focus, like Wings, finance softwares. These purchasing department people use some softwares for that materials. Vendors use a software for the vendor transactions. Admin uses software for admin. Do you know these ERPs like SAP, Oracle and all, they have 72 modules approximate. 72 softwares are there in this SAP. One for finance management, one for business management, admin department, one for material management. People call SAP SRM, SAP CRM, SAP FICO, customer relationship, supplier relationship. 72 modules are there in a business model. And people simply say, with React, shall you learn one ERP project? Right? You can just create an interface for that. That means you cannot say that you are designing an ERP project. That's completely bluffing. Anybody says that. That means because you don't know what is ERP, somebody bluffs you that I will teach you one ERP project. Right? People think that ERP project means what they see on Amazon screen is ERP project. That is not ERP, that is just a front-end interface. Filtering data, sorting data, searching data, that is not ERP. That is only interface for ERP. Interface for ERP. ERP is different in the background. This is the business model actually. For every concept, there is a software. Do you know Oracle also an ERP? Many people may not be aware of that. Oracle is also an ERP. You see, this is Oracle, Enterprise Resource Planning, Oracle ERP. Oracle is not database. Oracle is not database. People think that Oracle is a database. Oracle is not database. It's a ERP. It has applications for every business purpose. You know, Oracle have Oracle Financials for finance management. Oracle have Oracle BI, OBIEE. People say Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. It is business intelligence. That means Oracle has so many things. You see, these are all Oracle. You have enterprise ER, risk management, project management, procurement. All these comes under supply chain and manufacturing. Right? These are all concepts. It's a very big concept. Business is done by using this. Business is done by using this. That is the reason. So you need to correctly understand the concept. Means how the business model works. Right? So what is the concept of conceptual model? I hope you got a clarity. Conceptual model is what? Conceptual model means it contains information about the modules that need data. And the physical model contains information about the data to be stored in every module. What table, field name, data type and all. Logical model contains the relationship. Foreign key, primary key, relations we will have. That means after we prepare physical model, we prepare the logical model. In the logical model, we identify the relationship between modules. That means you will have a table name, field name, and relationship. So that means you have a relationship between this module and this. So after identifying the relationship, now once it is finalized, that means our review team says that, okay, this is final. It means they will verify that you are not mismatching any relations. You are correctly configuring the relations. You are not missing any relation. Once they verify, then finally we prepare an entity model. People call this as ER diagram. People call as ER diagram. People call as an ER diagram, entity relationship diagram. In this entity model, you see, entity model contains everything now. That means table name, field name, data type, relationship, and everything. This is the reference given to a developer to design database. So what is the reference for creating database in a project? ER diagram. Entity relationship diagram. By seeing this diagram only, designer will design the database. That means to a database designer, we will give this diagram. He need to prepare the database according this. And finally, he need to show this relationship model to us. That means is every relation is correctly configured. That means Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, they have these models generated. You create the database, they will create this model and show you. Is the model according to business requirement and the database is same matching or not, you can verify. That means after preparing database, for the database, this model can be generated. Visually, a model can be generated and shown to you. And if it is generated, we can verify is according to the correct business requirements or not. So to prepare a database, so many are required. It's not like just imagine field name A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. You can't do that. You need a complete prototype for that. So what is conceptual model? Actually, conceptual model conceptual model comprises of list of modules that require data, comprises of list of modules that require data. Physical model specifies information about physical model specifies information about every module, information about every module that require data. So that means table name, field name, data type, etc. Table name, field name, data type, everything is in physical model. Logical model identifies the relation between modules. That means we have foreign key, primary key, like that. Next, entity model describes the complete business requirement. Entity model describes the complete business requirement with the table, data type, table, field, data type, and relation. Table, field, data type, and relationship. These are conceptual, physical, logical, and entity models. So, what we will do is here, we will create a simple point here. A data model for to-do app. What are the data models for to-do app? Just model I give here. The point is, what is the first one? Conceptual model. Conceptual model, you need One is users, another one is what? Appointments. Okay. Physical model. For users, what we will do? We will keep, so users will keep the collection name. Collection name. What is the collection name? Collection name we will give users on. And the fields. What are the fields? So fields you need some user ID. User ID is a string. Username, that's also a string. Password, that's also a string. Mobile, this is also a string. Some email, that's also a string. These are enough. For every user you need an user ID, username, password, mobile and email. Few details will. Next, another one is appointments. For appointments, collection name. Collection name we will give appointments only. Appointments. This is the users collection and this is the appointments. For appointments, what are the fields? So fields we will have yeah. So here we will have an appointment ID. Appointment ID. That is the field. This will be a number. Every appointment will have an ID because based on ID we can delete or anything. Next one is what? So we have title, that's a string. We have description about the appointment, which is a string. So we have appointment date. So this is date time, which appointment date. Next, appointment needs these details: appointment ID, title, description, and date. And we will have user ID. This is a string. That means whose appointment is this? That user's appointment. All appointments for all users we will keep in one place. But according to user, we will filter and give to them. When a user logs in, his appointments are sent to him. Another user logs in, his appointments will send, right? That is. So this is enough. This is the physical model. The physical model. Later we will create more complex application, another one. Right? First, this is a simple one to understand the complete CRUD operations. Okay. Now, next concept. Now, what we need to do is we have to design the third one. What is it? So, logical model. Yeah. Logical model. Logical model is nothing but, so users, in users, so in users you have user ID. So this is primary key. Username, password, email and mobile. Appointments, So appointments, we have a appointment ID. We have appointment ID. That is primary key. So we have a title, we have description, another one. So date and user ID. This is foreign key. That means the user ID of users is used as a user ID for is used as an user ID reference for appointments. That means who registered as a user, his appointments are stored with reference of that user so that you can access appointment based on that.
बहुत सा नागरिक फुलवारी में जिस दिन देखे ना बेटा ऐसे ही काट रहा है और बाद में
That is the option. So this is enough. ER diagram not required. The diagram we are not drawing. So ER diagram is nothing but here we have many to many relation. So actually one to many relation this is. That means what happens? Every user can have multiple appointments. Every user can have multiple appointments, and appointment can belong to multiple users. So same appointment not possible. That means every user can have multiple appointments. So user is one, appointments are many. That is the relationship here we are having. Okay. Now here once we do this, according to this we need to design the database. To design the database, so we have to learn Mongo shell commands. Mongo shell commands to manipulate data. We have to learn the Mongo shell commands to manipulate data. Actually, MongoDB have a client tool Compass. The advantage of that is graphically you can design everything. That means visually you can simply create a database, create tables and everything. So you see here, suppose when I open, this is MongoDB. So when you open MongoDB Compass, this MongoDB Compass will provide a GUI tool here.
उसके बाद जाने वाला तो दिल्ली जाने वाला कितना दियो मामला तो सलट गया वहां पर कहां जोड़ा रहे हो तुम तुम ना लीजिए तो मेरे कौन देगा अरे हां वही बात बोले
Connection refused.
वो कहेगा मेरा मकसद मेरा था वो कहेगा
So then services app. Connection refused means server not started. We will check. The MongoDB server, it is not running, it is stopped. So we will right click and start. Okay, now we will connect. Fine. You see in this Compass, it's a GUI tool. If you want to create a database, just you have a button plus. You don't need any commands. You just click on that plus and you can create database. If you want to create a table, you want to create some data, everything visual, just like you are using MS Word or Excel. You don't need any commands. You can simply handle that. Plus button, delete button, edit button. But a developer need to learn commands because he can do this directly when he is working on it. But we have to communicate from a application. An application have to communicate with the database. That can be done only through commands. Through commands only we can communicate. So we need to learn the commands to communicate with the database. So interacting, manipulating the data, everything we have to learn through commands. So in this MongoDB, actually, Compass, at the bottom you see there is a Mongo shell. Mongo shell is like a terminal, just like your VS Code terminal. Command line tool. This is the location from where we test the commands. That means visually it is visible there, but commands are used here for faster manipulations, interactions we can directly do here. So here we have to use the commands. We need to use the commands here. Now, how do we handle these commands? That means what are the commands? First point is to view the list of existing databases. To view the list of existing databases, we have show DBS. That is a simple shortcut command. Remember, these commands are case sensitive. Capitalization matters. MongoDB is completely like JavaScript. All methods, functions are case sensitive. Capitalization matters. So show DBS is to view the list of existing databases. What are all the databases available? You can do that. So see here, I say show DBS. It will show the list of all databases. These are all the databases I am having. That means usually by default, some databases will be shown to you. They are used for their internal purpose. By default, databases are, we have an admin, we have config, and you have local. These three databases are default. They are used for their internal maintenance of that particular database server. So that is the reason we don't need to worry about them. These are default database. In every computer when you open, you will have those database. Others I added here. I manually added other databases. So in your PC, you will have only these three: admin, config, another one is local. Now, how to create database? To create the database, you have to use, so to create a new database, so we have to simply use is the command, use db name, database name, to create a new database. Here the point is, if the database exists, then it switches into the existing database. That means now this command is used for two purposes. If there is no database, it will create. If there is a database, it will start using that particular database. That means you can use for creating database, and you can use for changing into existing database. If you want to see what is in a database, you have to first change into it. That is done by using use. So here important another point, new database is not displayed in a list. So if it is empty, if it is empty, database requires some collections inside. If database is having some collection, then only it will display. Actually, you will create a database, but the database is not permanent until or unless some collections are inside. Collection means some table. MongoDB will not commit creating a database until or unless there is some collection. That means you create a database and you just exit without managing any data inside it. Then the database is deleted. It is not saved. That means database is not present until or unless you have some collections inside. So for example, you see now I am having use sample DB. I am creating a database called sample DB, and you see it is showing switch it to sample DB. That means currently which database is active? Sample DB. But here in the graphical interface, you see here when I refresh here, you see there is no sample DB. Not only that, so in the command, let's run this here, show DBS. In that, there is no sample DB, but it is showing that sample DB is active, but in the list it is not there. That means a database is not in the list until or unless it has some collections. That means it has some data inside it. So to create a database and to switch into existing database, you need these two options, right? Next important here, another important is to view the current active database. So you can use just db method. Just you can use db command. But actually currently which database is active you can see. But later through any command, if you want to know currently which database is active, so then you can use the command called db. That means currently I'm using which database? Sample db. I can know it. But through any other app you are working and you want to know what is the current database, you can just use db. It will give the database name. Currently which database is active. Because whenever you run command, we have to make sure that we are in that database. Otherwise it will affect somewhere else, right? That means we need to make sure in which database we are working first, right? And next important is now to create a new collection. Collection means here it is what? Table. To create a new collection, db dot create collection, and you have to define name and you have to configure options. These options are not compulsory. We have to use create collection and you have to mention the name. So name is some users and options are not compulsory. What are these options? I will tell you what options are present. We will discuss that. Actually, when you create a table, you can even put lot of restrictions for that. Like table should be this much size only. Like table can accept only these many records. You can put such restrictions. Those all are defined by using options. If you don't mention them, automatically it will take default. What is default? I will tell you. What are the options available? But to create any table, you need this. So we will create two tables here temporarily. One is what? db dot what? Create collection. Be careful about the capitalization. It is just like your JavaScript. All capitalization matters. And first one is users and a table created. Now show DBS and you will see it is there in the database list. So in the graphical also you can see now when I refresh here, you will see there is a sample DB, right? So the database will be now permanent until or unless you remove it, it is there. So you can use here db dot create collection and the collection name as appointments like this. We can give options also for that. What are those options? Later I will tell you list of those options. Now you just hit enter, then it is created. Now to see what are present, that means to view the list of collections. Collections means what? Tables. So we have to just use show collections. That is the command you have to use, show collections. It will show the list of collections available. That means you just use show collections. Then it is going to get the list of collections available. We have two collections, appointments and users, right? That is the point. So this is first database and we have collection. Now while creating collection, we have some options. We need to know how to create a collection with restrictions, right? That we'll see tomorrow, right? In tomorrow's session, we will finish creating the database according to our project. Then we have to create an API by using server side technology. Then that API we have to use in our React. That is the process we are going to do, right? Then tomorrow we will finish all the commands required for database manipulation. What commands you have to learn? CRUD, create, read, update and delete. Those commands we will see. Tomorrow we'll continue. Okay, right.
ये आया प्रसादी आया आगे बाद में पछतावा हो रहा अभी तक हो रहा है भूखा लगा हो भूख से ना खाया काम मन में आके खा लिया वो देख रहा था कुछ ही खा लिया चढ़ा के देता है ना पैर के पास से फिर परसों लाके दी था कटोरी में ही आलू वो ना खाया पैसा दे देगा उसमें क्या होगा तो बोलिए रुक जाएगा हम बना देंगे हाँ हेलो हाँ बोल रहा बॉस 6 गो 60 है तो बोल बोले 2 गो 60 है कल का 2 गो 60 है बॉस कल देवे का देखो पॉकेट बंद हो गया ऊपर पॉकेट कहाँ है दे दे ले लो ना व्हाइट उजला तो है यार ले लो माल दो रात में बैठोगे शाम में 4-5 बजे लाइट ना भी रहेगा तो हो जाएगा खाली प्रेस्टिज कर लो तो हो जाएगा हाँ सुनो ना पैसा थोड़ा सा ले लोगे लेट आगे पीछे कर लोगे ठीक है पैसा लेते आज ये आज सबे वही सब इकट्ठा हो गए तो 20 गो हो गए तो हम दे देंगे इकट्ठा करके धीरे धीरे करके जमा करो ना हाँ हाँ शिवरात कब है 25 तारीख पूछो ना 25 तारीख को है अरे 25 को है 24-25 को है हो ये जाएगा यार अच्छा चलो 23-24 को पैसा दे दो ठीक बयान आ गया तो रात में मना नहीं उस दिन सो जाना चाहिए सब एक से सतवा तो केका मानेगा वो जो पहले चल रहा वही मानेगा तो फिर वो कोई फायदा ना होगा फिर चलने से ना होगा जो बताया वो जो बताया किया पहले वही ना बोले कि डेट और तारीख सब पते ना है तो कैसे मना सकते कुछ का बोले पहला अपना काम पढ़ाई, काम से प्यारा कुछ नहीं है। आज तो काम कोई अच्छा लगता तो सन्नाटा लगना साला ना, बिना बाल बच्चे का घर अच्छा लगा। दो लेडीज